Okay, and we are live. Hello, Ken Alade Hope Igodalo. Welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you. Wonderful. So we're going to get straight to it. We don't tend to waste time here. So tonight I've been invited by Queen Olaide. I hope I got her name right. That's what they call her in the group, Queen Olaide. And she has invited me. My name is Ronke Posh, and I am a parent coach, practitioner, enthusiast. I love talking about anything parenting, and also the head of school at the very preschool and primary, which is Le Posh School, Parkview Estate in Lagos. So today we will be talking about sex and sexuality for children. So if you don't mind popping in there, how old your kids are, that would be wonderful. So we know how old they are. So we'll be talking about it for children under the age of 13. Usually children by the age of 13, obviously we call them 13 teenagers. But these days you find that as young as 10 years old are already, because they know so much, they develop so much, they grow so much, social media, diet, and they are really, really, they grow up really, really fast. So what the typical 13-year-old in our time, or in my time, for example, will be the equivalent of sometimes 8-9-year-old children these days. They grow up really, really fast, get really chubby. They start their period on time. They learn a lot from the school. So all sorts of things happen. So welcome again. Good evening. If you're just joining, thanks for being here. Ronke Posh is my name, and we'll be doing the sex and sexuality talk for children. I have authored 2 books so far. One is The Right Kid 101, which you can get on Amazon US or UK online. And there's one you can get locally, which is 101 Tips to Curb the Beating and the Shouting, from my website. And I'm going to put it right here. So the 2 people that will be getting our prize today will be Kelly and Hope Igodalo. They're the first 2 to join. And the people that engage the most, then they will also get the prizes as well. But you must be subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so now. So let's press ahead. So Olaide has a 3-year-old. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So when we want to talk to our children about sex and sexuality, when do we start and why do we start? We should start very early, as soon as the child becomes aware. Usually around about 18 months. Yes, congratulations to you. About 18 months, they are aware. They know yes, they know this, they know how to say no. So you've got a girl, great. So they know how to do stuff like that. So you need to begin to tell them the good touch, the bad touch, because sometimes when children are touching them, it's not because they want to fiddle with their body or masturbate or do anything. They're just exploring. There's this funny thing around my body, and sometimes when they touch it, it actually feels good to them, so they might want to continue their bodies. So your child that is 2 years old, 3 years old already should be having that sex and sexuality talk already. You should be engaging your children in those sort of talk. When you're teaching them the parts of the body, so when you're saying this is my eyes, this is my eyebrow, nose, my mouth, my ears, then you need to tell them that this is my chest. They can even ask why your chest is different from theirs. Then you tell them, because when you grow up, you're going to have bigger chests and their breasts. You're going to have a vagina and a penis. When you start telling them at a very young age that they have this part of the body, when they grow up like we did, now children now 10, 11, 14, 15, 18, when you say vagina, you say penis, they're like, you know. But when you let them know age, it is like saying the ear or the penis. It don't mean anything, it's not a big deal to them. But when you hide it from them, that's when it's actually a big deal. So children, it's not a big deal, any part of their body, if you teach them from a very, very young age. So we must ensure that we start teaching them the parts of the body. Those are the basic parts of the body. And then we move on to the private parts and the public parts. Now, even though we know that the private parts and the public parts are obvious, so we know that the eyes are visible and the head and things like that. If you are with a child that is a Muslim, for example, and wears a hijab, that child's head is private. That child does not want the head to be seen. So what is private to child A is not private to, might not be private to child B. So we also have sensitive parts. Some children don't like to be touched. Many adults, when they see children, say, "Hey, you're so cute," to touch their cheeks. But some children actually hate it. I'm one of those children, I don't like people touching me. So that's a sensitive part. So what are we mentioned tonight? We mentioned private parts, public parts. We've mentioned sensitive parts. So if a child is saying somewhere is sensitive, don't want to be touched, that is it. You have to respect those boundaries of the child. So don't touch any child, any part of the body of the child that they don't want. We must respect boundaries. You must respect boundaries. So your kids are really, really young, very cute. I've seen 10-month-old girl, a year old, 3 years old. 3 years old is even the youngest I've seen. So it's amazing, and it's actually great because this is the time when you need to be having those conversations. And those conversations need to be regular in the homes. Don't make it like once a year or once when you heard something bad on the social media. Let it be a part of their life. So when they're washing their body, don't say wash your bum bum. You say wash your penis, wash your vagina, wash your armpits, wash your chest. Let them start using those parts of their body and get them to be washing those parts of their bodies as soon as possible. They're washing those parts of their body. It may not be clean. You will still tidy up for them, but let them start practicing so that by 3 years old, for example, they already know how to wash those private parts of their body independent. And then when you have domestic workers, for example, the way you treat your child is such that if you have medication, that medication will come with instructions for so give the child 1 5 ml or 2 5 ml. You should have instructions for your child. If anybody's coming to look after your child, a manual for your child to say, you don't wash my child's private parts, you don't do this, you don't do that. Whatever it is that you don't want, let that person know. Don't just assume. Let that person know and let your child also know. This is also part of your values as a family. And a lot of these things we talk about a lot on this channel. So make sure that they're subscribed. Make sure that anybody handling your child knows the things that are allowed. Your child also knows the things that are allowed. And then make open line of communication so that if there's an emergency or if anything is going on wrong, your child will quickly shout and say, "Hey, mommy, this is what happened." Don't just think, "Oh, I don't believe," or whatever. If your child is telling you all the time, now if your child somebody poked me with their pin, it will not ring any alarm bells to you. But if a child comes and says, "Oh, mommy, somebody's Mr. Something brought the vagina penis," you'll be like, "What?" And you know that your child knows that body part already. So you have to tell your child things like this. I'll tell you a story. When my daughter went to secondary school, children in the school were using vaseline in the bathroom to rub their chest. Why were they doing that? They were doing it because they wanted their breasts to grow. This is because I have not told them and educated them properly that it is not vaseline that helps the breast to grow. You actually have to undergo puberty. So this is one of the we must ensure that our children are not part of the ignorant ones. My daughter came home, she was laughing because she knows already. The time my daughter was 10, she already knew things about masturbation. She already knew things about same-sex relationships. She knew that some people have 2 moms and 2 dads. While it's not common in Nigeria, we must know that our children must not just come out of Nigeria or wake up one day and find out that there are family formations, that some people are orphans, some people have 2 moms, 2 dads, bisexual, transsexual. You need to let them know that this is the way it is in our family. This is, if you are a believer in God, you say this is how God made it. This is how God made Adam and Eve. This is how God wants it to be. But in the world, it's perverted now. Some people even marry animals. Let them know. Don't hide all these things from your children. Let them know, because the ignorance of your child is the strength. If your child does not know, they will be easily deceived. You do not want your child to be easily deceived. So in this big bad world, you need to equip your child so much so that what's it called? You need to equip your child so much that there's no lie anybody wants to tell them that they will believe. You need to also let your child know that they can trust you. That if anybody tells them that they're going to beat them up or kill their mommy or daddy, because the predator does is that they will try and scare your child not to tell you. They will bribe your child and give your child something they like. Give them ice cream, give them sweets, because sometimes when a child might not say because the child might actually be enjoying it. We don't have to assume that it's every child that is abused that actually did not enjoy the experience. While it's a wrong experience, some of them actually gain pleasure from it. So you need to let them know that if anybody touches you in the private part or a sensitive part, you need to scream out and let mom and daddy know. You know, albeit we also have a responsibility as parents not to leave our children with people that we do not trust. At the same time, they go to places like schools, and some children get abused in schools. They get to birthday parties and things like that. You need to let them know that, for example, if they go to a birthday party, they should go with their people. If they need to go to a restaurant, they should not go by themselves. Unfortunately, the world has become so insecure that we need to really, really ensure that our children are safe. Another time, my daughter to a holiday camp last year, and normally when I go to a holiday camp or drop her anywhere, I inspect the premises. I want to know the restroom. I want to know everything about the layout of the house, even if it's in. I want to know everything. And when I looked on, I realized that we were actually having the event was in a hall, and then the toilet was a long way away. And if she wanted to go to the restroom, she would have to go like maybe a 5-minute walk. It was that far. So I said to them, we went to the restroom and we saw it. And I said to the people, there's nobody in this restroom. Imagine a child comes by themselves. A girl is walking or a boy is walking to the restroom by themselves. And then somebody is following the child, rapes the child. It could be a boy or a girl. Boys also get raped. Nobody's going to know. So I told them that I can't leave my child at this summer camp, except I know at least there are people around. So they left in the restroom. So it's also our responsibility to make sure that the environment that we leave our children is very safe. So they left 2 people there. She had my phone number, and I said to her also that when you're going to the restroom, don't go by yourself. Go, and I told her friends, because some of them we knew some of people there, that you guys should go like in 4s or 5s because you are less vulnerable when you are in a group. Don't go by yourself to the restroom. And even as adults, we mustn't be doing some things like that because the world has become so dangerous. So we must continue to tell our children, the less they know, the more they will be deceived. You know, even especially when they grow up into their teens, they start telling them things like, oh, if they give a boy a blowjob and things like that, not pure paid. There are all sorts of myths and all sorts of lies that are out there that the children do and say each other. So we must protect them. We must also tell our children that if they see anything that is not right on TV, that they should tell you. Because some of the programs, they slip things into some of this. Now, more recently, there was something going viral on social media where a parent visited the site was okay for the child. I think it was on YouTube, and the parent watched the program. The ads that were there to do all these adverts, the ads that were there were fine, no problem. So they gave the child her own device to use, but every time the child used that device, it was a pornographic clip that was being shown to the child. So the child told the parents. But if the parents should use their own device, they don't see that pornographic ad. But when they use the device, so it's called targeting. So they are able to target children the use of artificial intelligence. So you don't just leave your children and say, oh, because it's a Cartoon Network or it's a children's channel, there is now targeting that can be done. So you must ensure that your child is communicating and telling you that, mommy, I saw something that is not right. This is what I saw. And if your child should tell you, please don't start screaming and shouting. There are times when you just need to be calm, no matter how heavy it is. Even if the child says, oh, somebody tried to touch my private part, don't go, yeah. Who is that person? I'm going to kill the person. You want to try and get as much information first as possible so that you know how far the person has gone with the child or with even another child. Get as much information, go to your room, drink water, breathe, you react. Don't panic first. Get as much information as possible. So as your children are growing up, keep equipping them. It's like a scaffolding. You are building on the information they know. You're building. They must never be ignorant. So they will ask you tough questions. I don't know what the questions that your children have asked you. Feel free to share. Some of them will say, where do babies come from? So you don't tell them butterflies and bees and things like that. You begin to tell them, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Please drop your name, say hello. Let me know the ages of your children so I know how far with this sex talk I should go. I don't know if I should go as far as teens and the likes for now, because what's it called? The oldest child we have so far is 5 years old, so there's no point me talking about what's happening with 13 years old, because, for example, 13 years old, they sexted. By sexting, SEXT, they send images of their nude bodies online, especially during this coronavirus pandemic, where they're not able to see their classmates. A lot of them have been nudging them to send images of themselves naked, or their boobs or their penises, and it causes cyberbullying, because they will take it and they will share it, and all sorts of things happen. But I don't know if it's relevant to this group. I don't know how old our children, but so far we have up to a 5-year-old at the moment. So let me read the comments here. Let's read the comments. Good. So Rodea has said her child is 5 years old. Ugochukwu said, let them. Most times we think we are, then we are not. Yes. When you overprotect your child, you are not doing your child a favor, because the child will now not be able to be independent enough to protect themselves. The goal of parenting is to bring the child to a point of maturity where they can make the right decision. That is the test of your parenting. So it's responsibility, Ogochukwu says, as a mother, to ensure that my children are safe. Absolutely. So when you drop them, the school that you drop them, because even when children are abused, oftentimes you find that it has been the negligence of the parent. The negligence of the parent because they have dropped the child with somebody that abused the child, or they have not equipped the child with enough to protect the child, or they have not allowed enough room for the child to communicate and tell them that this is happening to me, or somebody has said they're going to do this to me. They're afraid of your responses. If you're a parent that is always screaming at your child and you've instilled fear in that child, you've built some kind of barrier. So when there's a case of abuse, the child will find it difficult to come to you to say something is going on. So we be very careful with the way we scream and the way we shout. So I'll put on here how you can get that book. Where is it? Let me see. 101 tips to get to curb the screaming and the shouting. I'll put the link to the website if I can find it here. Just bear with me. Yeah, here we go. The scrolling. Yes. So yeah, so that's it. www.roncatpunch.com. If you don't win the book tonight, then you can also get your own copy. It's an ebook, and you just use your mail and you get it. Because when we're screaming and we're shouting, we instill fear. Those children will not be able to talk to you. And they will also assume that when something is wrong, the first thing they're going to do is scream and shout. I've had parents say, oh, if you're parenting and you don't shout and beat, that's not a right parent, not a proper parent. When the mommy case came down, people were saying, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? And things like that. But we must understand that that screaming and shouting, we're not raising the same kind of children. We're raising a different type and generation of children. And some people are going to say, oh, spare the rod and spoil the child. And I will say to those people also that the Bible says that a rebellious child should be stoned to death. Should we now stone our children to death? Because the same Bible that says spare the rod also says stone the child. He also says you should guard your eyes if it makes you sin. So there are so many hyperboles in the Bible, but people choose that road because they do not want to think of alternative strategies to discipline their child, such as the personality style of the child, such as knowing the love language of your children. And if you need to know the personality type or the love language of your children and you don't know how, you can contact me for a consultation, but I do charge for those. I do half hour, even though half hour is just a troubleshoot, it's not really enough. And I do an hour and a half also. So make sure that you get the book if you find that your friend that gets angry, so that you know the reason, your triggers, the reason why you get angry, and so that you can curb it. It's dangerous for you, it's dangerous for your children. A number of people were not taught about sex education, about parents, about, some of them will say, oh, children should not follow boys, they should not follow girls, they should not do this. But these children have feelings, they have urges, they have all sorts of desires in their body. What should they do with it? Manage it. If they tell you they have a crush on a boy, you want to kill yourself. No, you don't, because this is happening. If you want to kill yourself and have a crush, they're not going to tell you deep stuff, and deep stuff are happening in their lives. So you must be able to allow your children to be able to speak to you properly and be free and not be afraid to talk to you. So let me pick up some more comments. Nancy's son is 2+, cute. Betty, good evening. I have 3 children, 3, 7, and 8. Wow. 3 children under the age of 8. An amazing job. I hope that you get a lot of rest, a lot of breaks, and support as well. It's very, very important because there are so many statistics, and even though we don't want all those things to happen to us, but it is stressful to be raising a certain number of children are very young. So I hope you have good support around you. Build good support. Don't be afraid. Take breaks. Don't be afraid to say it's me time. Nothing is going to happen to you. I'm going to pamper myself. I'm going to go in massage. I'm going for a walk. You children are not just going to kill me. Please treat yourself, Betty, as much as you can. Kende says the less they know, the more they will be deceived. Absolutely. Betty says or asks, how do you give sex education to your age? So just like we've been saying, Betty, it doesn't start at the age of 8. It starts from the age of about 18 months. Some girls are sharper than boys. Some of them are very aware. Some of them are already talking around that age. It starts then. You build on it, scaffolding. You're already telling them all the parts of the body. They are learning. They are talking to you. You are answering their questions. Do you understand what I mean? You're telling them that this part is sensitive, this part is private, this part is public. You're telling them that if anybody wants to touch you, it's not right for people to touch you. You're not right for you to be kissing people as well. You're telling them things like that. So the talk is ongoing. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that when you want to do the sex talk, you sit them down. Come on, when you want to talk to you, you enter one room and serious. You don't make it serious. Make it seem as if you're talking about hair groups, for example. Make it seem as if you're talking to them about how they're learning maths. Let it just be normal. For a walk together and things like that. You start raising the question. When the child starts talking about it as well, asking you questions about your body parts or things like that, you start using that opportunity to educate your child. Start with basic body parts when they are younger. By the time that they are 8, the child already knows so much from the media, from school, from all around the environment. The child already knows a lot about that. So the child by 8 years old should know about same-sex marriages. You will tell them the one that you practice in your home. First of all, let them know that this is how our own is. Say, for example, I'll tell my child that God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Union amongst a boy and a man and a woman. It's boys and girls should not be found kissing or doing anything like that. Tell them, let them that they can get sick. Because it's not everything that you go to hell, you go to hell. I don't know if you guys the video that I sent, how parents used to, the skits where I said how parents used to train their children about sex. Everything is not about going to hellfire, going to hellfire. For many of them anyway, they don't even believe that hell is real yet. They don't yet believe it. But you must let them know that there are germs. They can get germs, they can get sick. Teach them about HIV, teach them about communicable disease. That can happen to them. Let them know that people can be very dirty and carry diseases. Let them start knowing things like that. Let them know that they should keep their privacy, they should keep themselves to themselves. Let them know that this is how decent people live. Let them show them queens. What does a queen look like? What does a gentleman look like? Let's having role models that are proper. Start having that talk. It's a journey. Sex talk is a journey. It doesn't even stop. Even when they're old and they're marital home, they should be able to come and tell you that this is happening at home. What should I do? Or, this thing that you talked about, now that is happening is real now. Let me still be able to talk to you. A lot of us, even me now, I can't talk to my mom about sex education because we've never had that conversation. I wouldn't have any conversation with me about period or anything like that. Just go and work it out yourself. You don't want to do that as an intentional parent. We know better. If our parents knew better, they would do better. Definitely. They did because we're not shooting them, but we are going to do things differently. So it's a journey. You keep building on it, use books, read books together so that they can be curious, they can know. And it's not only the sex talk, let them have value system. Who do you want to become? Who are you? So if your surname is Agbana, for example, how do the Agbanos behave? Do you talk anyhow? Do they allow people to touch their bodies? Your body is a temple of God. You're trading special place. Does anybody just touch your body anyhow? No. If you don't value yourself, then you let them touch your body. You're royalty. You're beautiful. You're a princess. That's why you won't let anybody touch your body. You start having that conversation in that. Then you tell them when they are going up, good secondary school, they're doing it, but doesn't make it right. They are different. They don't have to be like everybody else in the world because they are unique. Start having that conversation. It's ongoing. Even if you see, maybe you're watching TV, And maybe a lot of parents, when they see somebody pissing on TV, they say they'll quickly block it or they will do something. You just use that any opportunity that is uncomfortable, use it as a teaching moment. You know, oh, you saw them kissing. Don't be uncomfortable. You may be uncomfortable with it, but you have to learn to embrace it. You, as an adult, you have to learn to be comfortable with it. Practice in front of a mirror how you're going to talk to your child about sex education if you feel that uncomfortable with it. Practice with your spouse, practice with your friend how you're going to talk to your child about it, because they need you to tell them. If you don't tell them, somebody else is telling them. Trust me. And that person is most likely telling them in the wrong way, and that person is probably even using practical, giving them practicals. So be careful. Make sure that you are the one that equips your child. I hope that helps you. Yes, I do say that one shouldn't use the rod, and I know that it's very controversial. I have a Facebook group. It's called Parent Right, Live Right. I'll pop it on the Google it. Parent Right, Live Right. We are advocates of no smacking, no beating. I'm a product of not being smacked and not being. I turned out the way I have turned out, and I'm helping people to understand that beating is not the only way. That is why I've written that book. There are 101 other ways to discipline a child. We don't want to embrace the other ways. If we just stop for a moment and say, what if they come to Nigeria and say, if you beat your child, you lose your child, that's the end, or you go to jail. Instantly, we will think of other ideas of disciplining our child. Because the more you hit your child, the more you separate yourself from the child. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, but they beat me. What happened to me? Nothing happened to me. You may think nothing happened to you because you have a house, a husband, a wife, a job, and things. You may think nothing happened to you. But you find that a lot of people, they use that pain that they've gone through in their lives. They take it out on their children. They have a shadow effect where they repeat the same cycle. Some of them go on to beat their wives. They're not going to put that one on social media. Some of them will go on and drugs, insecurities. They're not confident. They feel as if they must have one or the other. Shopping, alcoholism, jealousy, envy, masturbation, they use those things to mask the pain that they are going through. You won't find those ones on social media. You won't find the nice car and the nice house and things like that. So we don't advocate. I don't for smacking of children, for beating of children. I believe in connection and communication. If your child you connect with your child very, very well, you will find that you will have little or no problems. A lot of the things we beat our children for, for example, we beat them when we're angry, when we're tired, when we're weak, when we're broke. We take it out on them. Think about it. It's not what the child actually did. When you beat your child, how do you feel? Oftentimes you feel rotten. You don't feel good for smacking your child. If you're good, does anybody here feel good when they smack their child? Please just tell me how you feel. You don't feel good about it. You feel rotten. And some people even overdo it. They will even leave marks on their body, slap them, all sorts of things. And you just think, what did this child do? I'm doing all these type of things. And then if we take responsibility for the actions of our children, we must responsibility. This child is doing something. Why is that child doing something? Even if the child goes to go and steal something, you say, okay, did you give the child the rules around the stealing? Did you tell the child not to do things? This X, Y, and Z the child. So if you take a child to a meeting or a church, some people take their children to church, they will say, stop making noise, stop disturbing, sit in one place. How do you expect a one place to be reading newspaper or what? The child will behave like a 3-year-old, and then the parents will beat the child. It is the parent that is at fault. If we give them the guidelines, they will not misbehave. A child, the work of a child, Maria Montessori says, is play. So if you've given the child enough play and enough things to do, the child will not go and take what they're not supposed to take. You've already given them enough of their own things to do. You've planned it, you've timed it, you're intentional about it, then you won't have those challenges. So please feel free to join our group, and you see that we have hundreds and hundreds of parents now that have stopped beating their children. I have testimonials of people that are telling me that amazing things have happened in their lives right now because they've stopped hitting their children. And we must know that even if we want to continue hitting our children, by the time that 7, 8, 9, 10, they're wasting your time. It's not working. So it's best to communicate with them. And it's that time that you can also lose. We don't tell you those secrets anymore because you beat them too much. So my children are 5 and 6 respectively. Wonderful, beautiful. Betty, you're welcome. Hadija says, God help me with the way I shout. Yeah, all you have to do is just get a copy of that book. It will really, really help you. I can promise you that. And to stop shouting is a choice. The first thing you do, even the first instruction in that book, is to make a choice to stop it. But if you believe that you can't do it, then you're not going to be able to do it. You have to say, I'm not going to hate my child. I love my children. Imagine if they gave you Obama's children, or they gave you someone who lose children, or like that. Will you beat them? If they gave you the children of dignitaries to look after and put them around, will you beat them? You won't beat them, but think about it. You have the children of the Most High God, and you are beating your child. The children are not yours. You are just a custodian. They're just passing through you. 18, 21 years, they're gone. They're married. They're doing their own thing. The other day, somebody was beating an 18-year-old for being in a WhatsApp group, and they put it on social media. And I'm thinking that a man is beating 18-year-old. When I was 18 years old, I was not living in Nigeria, not even in the country. So whatever my parents have done, we're not done it by the time I'm 18 years old. We're not done it by the time I'm 13 years old. They failed as parents. Anything they need to do, because the teenage child is a report card of the parents. If you haven't done well, it will start showing itself up in different ways. Beating like a 13-year-old child is just saying that I'm a bad parent, I did not do my work well, so I have an adult that's not behaving well. So we must know that if we trusted our children, train up the child in the way the child grows up, will not depart from it. That is it. The child will not depart from the way that you have trained the child. Even if they explore, they will try some little things here and there because at secondary school their friends are doing it. Maybe they'll try to smoke or drink or kiss a boy or things like that. They will come back if you've raised them right. So don't be worried about that. I use most better the rod and shouting, then talking. Yeah, but the thing is, when you use the rod, you create a distance, bam, shouting, boom, barrier, and then you want to, where you will have connected like that, you connect like this a bit. That talking is very, very important. Very, very important. And tell the child, have a family meeting, have a day of the week where you have a family meeting and you say to the children, if this happens, what should I do? If you go and, if you don't clean your room or make your bed, what's the consequence? Let them make the rules. If you know the personality style of your child, because some children, you want to beat them. They've done the thing already. They know that the worst you will do is beat and shout. So they're ready for you. They will even bring their hand out. Some of them will even go and bring the cane. Because they know that that's the worst they're going to do. They know what you are like. So they don't even care what you're going to do. But when you tell them that this is the consequence. So if a child is social, for example, so there are 5 love languages. I hope I remember all of them. So quality time, words of affirmations, a touch, and there are 5 of them. I can't remember all those 5 love languages. Gifts is another one. So still come to me. If your child likes gifts, take away gifts from them. If your child likes social life, take away that socialization, tell them to stay in the room for a period of time and then have the conversation. If a child that doesn't like, some people say go to naughty corner. Some children like that naughty corner because they're creative. They don't even want all the noise, so they're happy in the naughty corner. You must know the personality type of your child, and you use that to create the disciplinary method for your child. That's what you do. So a child, like I said, if your child loves gifts, you're going to say, okay, you wanted me to buy you X, Y, and Z. You're not going to get it anymore, or I'm going to seize the one I got from you. That was going to get to the core of the child more than smacking. What does smacking do? Blah, 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 you smack and that's all she's going to do. And that is it. They may be afraid of that, you angry and that action, but it doesn't really send any message to them at all. So we must be very wary of that. And then, which is them not being afraid to talk to us, because in this day and age when too many things are happening, we must be able to ensure that our children talk to us. My mom tried, good. Yes, it's not every parent that didn't try, that didn't, I won't say to use the word try. It's not every parent that didn't tell their children. It's because their own parents too didn't tell them. So accept they're intentional and say, okay, my own mom didn't tell me, I'm going to tell my own children, or they go to a seminar and they find out or something like that, or something causes them to know, then they will do it. But majority of parents didn't. And again, I don't even know how old you are, because a lot of moms here are moms to 5-year-old. Even your parents may be funkier than my own parents are in their 80s now. So it depends again. But my own generation, definitely those are in our 40s, definitely a lot of us, not all, have that conversation with our parents. It was like I did in that skit where they were saying what's it called? Well, figure it out by yourself, house and things like that. Those sort of things actually happen. So we will be reading more of the comments in a moment. I'm just going to get a water break. If you don't mind, I'm just going to take a 30-second break. Please drop your comments and your questions, and I'll take them all soon. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thanks for being there. And I am back. Okay. So good job to Gochuku's mommy. Parent Pride Live Right is the Facebook group, like I mentioned. Hadike said, my 3 parent boys who are 2.6 years won't even listen when you talk. I don't think they will understand this sex talk. Yes, you take it at the pace of the child. So even if you're not having the sex talk, they know parts of the body. You can just have fun and say, this is my hand, my dick. Don't touch this. Just start from there. Don't worry about saying, making it so detailed and take it. Children learn at different ages, but let the awareness be there that there's a part of the body that they should don't touch. Don't touch. You know what I'm saying? You even said that triplets. Wow. It just registered in my brain now. Wonderful. So you want to tell them, you're supposed to be playing with their body parts, not that they are doing anything, because boys tend to play with their body parts. I don't know if yours do that as well. Just let them know those simple stuff. And as they grow up, you continue topping it up. Eventually, when they start doing their potty training, they will have already started by now. So I should not be saying, I know, Rita, don't worry. It takes a mindset shift not to beat, because it's our culture to beat children. It's a culture in Nigeria to beat children. But I'm saying that it's not the best way. If beating really works, why are we so corrupt? Why is there examination malpractice? Why is there corruption in the government? What has it changed for us? If this beating has really worked, it hasn't worked. If I ask you now, where do you want your children to go to university? You tell me England, you tell me America, somewhere that is not Nigeria, to go and join the rotten kids that people say that parents are not even beating. We that were beating, what are we inventing and innovating? How has this beating helped us in society? They said insanity is doing the same thing that doesn't bring the same a different result. What has beating done to our society in Nigeria? It hasn't done much. All the people that have been beaten, are they not in Kirikiri? Many of them are in Kirikiri. Beating is not the answer. If those people in Kirikiri were communicated and taught properly and our parents were available for them, they probably won't be in the cell by now. Beating doesn't work. It will take some time for you to appreciate and understand. But like I said, just join the group on Facebook and subscribe to this channel. Subscription is free. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the subscribe button already, and you will get more information about this. I post every week, at least twice a week, and you get information. So let me read more comments. Nandi, I'm with you, Hadija. My son has not even let talk, so it isn't too early to start sex talk. 2+, yes. It's not about talking. Bear in mind that the sex talk, even if somebody has a child that is not neurotypical, meaning that maybe the child has an additional need, for example, that child, even if the child is, excuse me, even if the child is blind, you still have to teach the child. Even if the child is blind, nobody to teach the child. So it's not about talking. Some children don't talk, but you still have to teach them, because they're even the ones that are more vulnerable, because they can't talk and tell you what is happening to them. Then somebody will want something that they won't, So start telling, let the awareness be there. So they may not understand 100%, but let them start with body parts. Don't touch. Don't play with this. That's all. Because that might be all that you're even doing the whole week. Finish. It's not one detailed. Like I said, the sex talk should not be a lecture. It should not be one serious thing. It should be part of everyday life in your family. It should be part of every day, so that when the heavy stuff comes, they're already, you move from simple to complex. It doesn't become too difficult for them. So don't try and put them, write down. If they're not really communicating, just let the awareness be there. Show them pictures of leg, hand, penis, this, that. Let them just begin to know all those sort of things. And that's it. Some boys or even girls, they want to play with their mom's breast. They want to continue to play with their mom's breast. At some point, you need to start telling them that no, don't touch. That is also a sex talk. So a sex talk is not that you give them the whole download everything in one day. It's a journey. The sex talk is a journey. So Betty said, from what you said, I think I'm doing a good job with sex education, and I'm happy to hear that. I'm trying to teach my eldest child, 8 years old, about menstruation. No, it is not too early. Let her know about periods. I have a video on here on my YouTube channel. If you don't find it, just let me know and I will send you a link. My number, I'll put my WhatsApp number. It's only a WhatsApp number. This one, 090-1234568. So that's my number there. You can, if you don't find the video for periods, you can watch it, and your child can also watch it after you've watched it, so that you can know that. But I don't know how much she knows for now, but the sex talk is there. The name of the video is Periods. Just put Ronke Punch and then put Periods. You can find it, or ask me for the video. So she should know, especially as they're growing up. Some of them before 10, they've already started their period. So it's not too early at age 8. Olaide says, you dare not touch them. Yes. Rita says, my boys listen to me, especially when they are about to hurt themselves. I'm not sure. I want to read it again. Okay, will my boys listen to me, especially when they're about to hurt themselves? I'm not sure the context. Will they listen to me? My son will be 3 in September. His brother is 19 months. Yes. So, Richard, maybe you want to rephrase the question. I'm not really sure I understand it. Ugochukwu says, like my son that flies imaginary planes and draws in a naughty, exactly. So put them in a naughty corner and they will just start. So that your child, you want to pay special attention to him. That means he's not necessarily a social child. He can create his own fun by himself. Children like that are so very, very clever, because a child that likes to do imaginary planes, they are working on their imagination. Imagination is very, very important. They come up with all sorts of ways. Allow that child, even though that is not in the scope of what we're talking about, but that child is the kind of child that creates things, creates ideas, and innovates, because they come up with different random things. I don't know, maybe he says things like, oh, something's just going to come out of that place, or they can just say something, they have this creative mind. So those sort of children, they like their space, they like meditation, they like quiet time, they will do their own fun. They don't need you to have fun at all. So that sort of child, keep an eye on that child. You might have just a genius in your hands. Odieshi, okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's Odieshi. Hadika says, these children are not ours. We are just custodians. Absolutely. I am learning, and I'm happy that you are learning. Thank you so much. I don't know if Queen Olaide, okay, yes, I read a comment from Queen Olaide. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me here. I read a comment from earlier, trying to scroll back to see. Olaide, is it Olaide? Are you the one that has the 3-year-old? So Rita says, how do you advise we begin having conversation with our kids, especially those below 3? Maybe you didn't join early. I started with my first son, though, by teaching his private and telling him not to let anyone touch him. Yeah, you are right on track. But I've said that there are private parts, there are public parts, there are sensitive parts. I use it if you have a Muslim that covers their head and their hands, for example, they don't want those parts touched. To you, it may be public, but to them, it's private, and it can even be sensitive. A child that doesn't want you to stroke them or touch their cheeks or their head is sensitive to them, and it must be respected. So you start teaching them. You start teaching them body parts. You start telling them to wash their body by themselves. You start telling them that people might see stranger danger. People might try to touch them. People might try to hurt them. They should be able to talk to you and not be afraid if anything like that happens. So it's good to have you. It's good to know that it's you, Olaide, that is here, Queen. Thank you so much for for inviting me to the program. I hope that you've got a lot of value already. I started exactly at 7 o'clock, and it's 7:45 at the moment. Do you have questions Who is the most engaged person in the group? Queen Olaide is going to decide for us who the most engaged person is in the group. Which other criteria did we use for the people that are going to, who's the trickiest question? What's the trickiest question that your child has asked you? But your children are pretty young. I can see that the children here, they are pretty young. So you're so blessed that you get this kind of information at this time. You are on top of things when it comes to parenting your children intentionally. You're in. So like I said, 2 videos that comes out every week on here, at least two videos. I have videos about masturbation, pornography, the sex periods, all sorts of things on my channel. Feel free to just browse through or ask me what sort of videos I have. You subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's free, and then you get the videos as they come in usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but sometimes I create more depending on what is happening. So let me see if anything else has come. Great. So I believe that I've covered everything for now that you need to know for that age group. My child asked me, how will she know who to get married to? Yes. So it's very, very, and then it depends on the age of the child. Like I said, it's great. How do you know who you get married to? You have to now sit and find out, why is your child? So what made you think about that? So I don't know the age of your child. I'm just guessing. If you let me know, then I will know exactly how to respond to that. When a child asks a question, it's usually because they've heard something or they've seen something or they've observed you and your partner or you and your partner, and they're saying, how do I know my own partner? It's coming from someone, because these children, they come like blank tapes. Everything is recorded on them. So they've observed something. Want to find out what they know, where they knew it from, so that if it's a safe place or it's a dangerous place, you want to know how much they know so that you can respond accordingly. So she's 8. So 8 is big for that kind of question. So you answer her straight up. Now, why are you asking that question? Are you thinking of getting married anytime soon? You know, at 8, I was already praying for that when you get older, you will know who you are going to get married to, because you will be older, you will be wiser, you will have learned a lot of life lessons, you will know more about boys, and then you'll be able to make an informed decision as an adult. But right now, you're too young, you don't know about life, you don't know how guys behave. So right now is not really the time that you'll be able to choose husband, and then you make her feel comfortable. It's like, but if you want to get married to a husband, what do you think you want to who would you want to get married to? What would you like about them? Would you like them to be like your dad or like your uncle? Just have a conversation so that the child feels comfortable, so that if anything else builds up, the child is comfortable. Now, the place of communication, you cannot overemphasize it. The child will come back and tell you more. So give them answers, but try and find out where it's coming from. If it's in the class, if it's in the school, or we want to know, so that you will know if it's a healthy conversation or if it's something, some parents will even tell the children that they will marry them or they will take care of them, especially when they see that their parents are fighting at home all the time. The parents can make them feel safe. Don't worry, I'll take care of you, I'll marry you, or you'll make all sorts of sick promises to these children. So she observed you and your husband. Exactly. You say you're going to marry a wonderful husband like your daddy. In fact, he's going to be greater than your daddy. He's going to know how to use technology. He's going to know how to just make the child say, but it's not the right time. You're too small to be thinking about a husband. Why are you thinking about a husband? If you think about a husband, then you have to go to the market. Do you want to go to the market? Do you know how to go to the market yet? Do you have a job yet? All those things. You let them know that it's not the right time. But no, don't talk about husband or things like that, because it's normal. They will talk about crushes and things like that. About a crush, say, where did you hear about this crush from? What do you know about a crush? It's okay to like a boy. It's good, but just like him as a boy, that's all. There's nothing more than that. Let them know so that they're comfortable. She says she wants to be like me, and it's great that your child wants to be like you, not like some celebrity that is misbehaving on social media. We must be our children's first role model. So well done, Betty. Betty is the most engaged, so she definitely has to have one of the books. So Queen Olaide is going to give me the email addresses of everybody, the first 2 people, and also Betsy as well. And she likes the way her dad and me are very happy. Yes. So you have to let her know that she has to learn the art of happiness. She has to learn all the things that you learn. Tell her what age you got married. That's how long it took you. That it might take her maybe nearly, I don't know what age you got married, or it might take her, it might be later, or might be sooner than you. Just let her manage it. Let them know that she will have her own husband one day. It's okay. Let them know that she will have her own husband. She's not saying she wants to marry a woman. Thank God for that. Let her know she will have her own husband and she's going to be very, very happy, even happier than you and daddy. But she just has to wait. Okay? You're very welcome, Betty. So much value, honestly. Thank you. You are so welcome. Just say thank you, subscribe to the channel, and she can. I'm okay. Drop your questions. I'm happy to answer questions. We are rounding up. Betty says she likes a guy in her class, and I asked her what she liked about him. She said because he's very intelligent, and women and girls are attracted to people that are intelligent. Who is attracted to a dumb person? Some of them will even say they're attracted to a guy or a girl because very neat or speaks very well. And if you think back, you realize that even when we were growing up, there were people that we liked. We didn't think of it as crush or something. We just thought maybe this boy, the mother cuts the hair very neat, very sharp uniform, comes to school. You say this person is so nice. It's good to like nice things. And human beings too can be nice if we don't think of anything dirty attached to it. So you say, oh yeah, he's a very smart guy. He answers questions in class very, very well. Very, very nice. I like him too. Let them know it's okay to like a human being. There's nothing wrong with liking a human being. As long as we manage it, you like a boy. How can you like a boy? How can you like a boy? No, no, no. Let them know it's okay, but that's where it stops. Let them be able to, so that if anything happens, and maybe the boy comes to speak to her, she doesn't think it's butterflies are no. It's only because he's nice. And then some children are very visual. It's what they hear, they see that they like. Some is what they hear that they like. Some of them is what they feel that they like. So at least you should help you know your child and the boundaries. Say, for example, a child that likes gifts, when they move on to secondary school, Valentine, they come with gifts. You will let them know that it's because you like gifts. It's not because the boy likes you. You're very happy you think the boy, but it's the gifts that you actually like. And now you are thinking you love the boy because he has given you a gift. That is why knowing that love language is very, very, very important. To you. So anybody that has any challenges with managing children, the love languages, or they believe that they're having a challenging time with their child, or need to talk to me some, my number is there. Just pop in and then we can have a session. Like I said, the sessions are actually paid free. Betty said I told her to try and be more intelligent than him. That's my answer. Yeah. Yeah. You should try and be more intelligent than him. It's fine. But you don't want to create unhealthy competition, but let him inspire her, which is good, and let him know that intelligent people, many people like intelligent people. I like your daddy too because he's very intelligent. Your daddy likes me too because he's very intelligent. I like the president of whatever Nigeria because he's very intelligent. I like the pastor in the church, or I like the person because they're very intelligent people. Intelligent people are great. Just let them know things like that. Just bounce it around so that they will know that it's nothing that they must be targeting and thinking of the boy specifically. Let it just be. Let them know that it's normal. It's okay to like intelligent people because intelligent people are all over the place. People that are silly and disturbing in the class, a lot of people don't like them. So let them know things like that. Your answer is okay. It's okay. But if you want to build on that, because like I've already said, it's just fine. Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been an awesome time spending time with you in your group. Thank you so much. Please continue to be intentional parents. We need to be intentional for our parents in this generation. It's a big, bad world, and we don't want our children to be ignorant of the devices of the enemy. We want them to know a lot. We want our children to know a lot. So we shouldn't hide things from our children. So it's been a wonderful time. Thank you, Queen Olaide. You are an amazing lady. Thanks for the job that you are doing in this group. Please continue to support her in the group. And as we continue to iron sharpens iron, I don't mind sharing with your group when to share again. I have a wealth of experience. I teach home and abroad. I run a school as well. And I've been doing this parent coaching thing for about 14 years now. So if you need Okay, I saw one question coming just as about to say goodbye. But she said, my son 7 is always bullied in class because he's small in stature and topping the class. How do I help him? So you help your son by boosting his own morale, by boosting him first at home. Don't even think about the people outdoors first. Begin with your son. Begin with yourself. Be telling him that. Let him. How do you see him? Do you see him as small? How do you see him? Because a child that is small can see themselves as big and mighty. He's not a physical size. Like you said, he's topping the class. So you want to affirm him. You want him to have affirmations written down. I am bold. I am strong. Paste it in the bathroom. Paste it anywhere you can see. Let it be in the school bag, his pencil case. I'm a child of God. I'm strong. I'm bold. I can do all things. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm smart. Let him have affirmations. We do a lot of affirmations in the parent night group. Let him have affirmations. Let me give you an example quickly. There was a birthday party that I went to. Somebody was having a birthday party, but this child went to the birthday party. Naturally, when people when they have special needs children, they hide them. But things are changing now. To cut a long story short, this boy was dancing and in his wheelchair. He was an electric wheelchair, electronic one. He was moving it around. He was stealing the show. He was just stealing the show of the event. But what happened? How did a boy that is in a wheelchair come and steal the show? Because the parents have affirmed and told him that even if you don't have your 2 legs working, you can rock any party. If your 2 legs are not working, you can dance. Even if your 2 legs are not working, you are great, you are mighty, you're a child of God, you can do awesome things. You can be an astronaut. There's nothing that you cannot be. When you are telling your child and letting your child tell himself every single morning, reading that affirmation, it's entering the child's spirit, soul, and body. I'm telling you, that child's not going to see themselves as small. Small what? It starts with affirmations. Start affirming your child. Affirm yourself, affirm your child. Let your child know that nobody can bully him. Nobody can bully him. You give it to him, you give it back to them, he reports whoever. By the time they suspend 1 or 2 people in the classroom, all of the remaining people will sit up. Alida says, thank you so much for hosting us. It's a pleasure. I loved doing what I do, so it's an absolute pleasure. Adebimpe says, why is it not coming up? Adebimpe says, I love your detailed response to that question, ma. Thank you. I don't know why it's not coming up. Sure. Okay, finally come on. Yes. Thank you. Kende says, wow. Adebimpe says, you're doing a great job and I'm glad I made it here. God bless you. Thank you so much. Betty said, I'm very grateful. Thank you very much, man. God bless you too. And you're doing well already. Well done. Yes, I got that. Thank you so much too. God bless you. Ogashiku said, thank you so much, man. My communication game with my son definitely improved after this. Boom. Also, your assessment of him is really on point. Boom. I told you I know what I'm doing. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. So don't forget, if you need to get that book, www.roncarepunch.com. Scrolling down there, 101 tips. You can get a copy ebook. If you need it tonight, you get it tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, any further questions, or you want to do an hour session with me, I'll do it for you at a discounted price, and I'll be happy to engage with you. God bless you. Thank you, Queen Olaide. Kisses to everybody. So the first 2 people get a book, and Betty gets a book as well. Thank you. God bless you so much. And I'll see you, I'm sure. Good night. Good night. Good night.